Good evening, everyone. My name is Adelina, and I'm from the ConnectFor team. With us, we also have my team members Aishwarya and Sneha. It is a great pleasure for us to welcome you to this event. As many of you might be aware, ConnectFor is a volunteering platform that matches and connects volunteers to NGOs based on the skills and time preference of volunteers as per the NGO needs. We specifically curate customized volunteering engagements for both individuals and corporate organizations, keeping in mind the preferences of all our stakeholders. We have over 500 plus NGO partners across India and more than 24,000 volunteers. We work across different cause verticals such as environment, community development, education, etc. Before we begin, I would like to remind the participants to be on mute for the session to avoid any kind of background noise that may interfere with the event. However, if there are any questions that you'd like us to answer, please share them in the chat option available to you. We will be doing a quick Q&A at the end of the session, and you can share questions with us even via the feedback form. And in case we're unable to cater to all your relevant queries in the interest of time, we shall resolve them with you via email within a week. As the webinar is planned with an aim to ensure maximum interaction and learning, you can keep a note-taking tool in hand to note down any information or questions that will be helpful for you. As I shared earlier, we are hoping that you have all logged in for the event using your laptops and PCs, as we'll be doing a live demonstration of Canva with our speakers today. Additionally, it'd be great if you could also log into Canva using your Gmail accounts so that we are ready for our workshop. Before we begin with today's session, I'd like to recap a few topics we covered from our Celebrating Every Woman panel discussion webinar, which was scheduled for 10th of March. We covered topics on the leadership experiences, the journey towards creating an impact for women, impact of the pandemic on the beneficiaries and their families, how have our NGOs supported the women in facing these challenges, and our collective responsibility towards women empowerment. We facilitate this webinar in collaboration with our partner NGOs. As our panelist speakers, Maina Mahila Foundation, Shrujna Charitable Trust, and Durga. We are also thrilled to be organizing a workshop on report writing with Meghna Hegde and Anshuman Bhartan. This event is scheduled for 14th of April, which is a Wednesday. Aishwarya from our ConnectFor team will be sharing the details in the chat box shortly. Moving forward, we truly appreciate all our attendees for joining us today to learn more about graphic design. The aim of this webinar is to, one, understand the design platform, explore Canva in depth, quick ways of presenting information and guidelines to keep in mind while designing materials, learning additional uses of Canva outside of digital marketing, and at the end, we'll be doing a practice during live work time. I would like to now introduce you all to our speakers for today. We have with us Pranav Krishnan. He heads communication, culture, and CSR at Shebang. Pranav has a keen interest in brand strategy, innovation solutions, communication, and people management. He has worked with brands and organizations like UNESCO India, Capgemini, TCS, Cactus Communication, Coca-Cola over the past 3 years at different leadership positions for ISEC and Makers Asylum. He is proficient in business development, team management, public speaking, takes interest in graphic designing, and is a UN SDG enthusiast. We also have with us Varsha Rohini, with 4 years of work experience in marketing and communications for social impact. Varsha Rohini leads a team at Shebang for Good, the cause-based marketing vertical for Shebang, one of India's leading integrated marketing solutions agency. She has over the years worked with organizations including Keto, Reliance Foundation, Teach for India, to name a few. Her passion for social impact is rivaled only by a drive to build robust social development systems at the grassroots to accelerate sustainable growth for organizations. Let us now welcome Varsha and Pranav to lead our webinar.
Hello. Thank you so much for the amazing introduction. And I hope you guys take something out of the webinar that we're going to be hosting in the next 1 hour. Essentially, we are going to be talking about design and how, there are multiple ways to design or go about designing, but we are just going to be focusing on something which is as simple as Canva, which is basically a tool that a lot of designers try and use and it's something that you also can use. So Varsha, if you would like to add something.
Hi, thank you so much for joining this. And over my experience of working with different NGOs, we've noticed that, while people are doing a lot of good work on ground where they lack the skills to communicate properly, and we've realized design plays a key role in better communication, both internal and external. So we're going to be trying to tell you how the platform works and how you can use Canva for both internal communication and external communication. In the interest of time, we're going to be helping you out with social media and some digital strategies as well. But as you see the platform, you'll understand the potential and the amount of things that you can do. You can do reporting, you can do thank you creatives for your donors. There's a bunch of things that can be done using Canva. And we're really excited to take you through that and hoping that this helps you in your journey of social change. And I'll go for it.
Okay, cool. Perfect. So as Varsha mentioned, from Shebang for Goods end, we are going to be taking you through the aspect of how anybody can design. And yes, even you too can. The focus of the session is going to be the focus of the session is going to be around how you can implement all the things that we usually do in our business and take it into various other things that you do on ground. Whether it be, one second. Yeah. Whether it be understanding how to use Canva or also understanding the various other resources that we use to be able to design better. We're also going to quickly help you with a few shortcuts with respect to design and some social media design strategy. Being in the business of social media and digital media, we have realized and we have understood a few things that work really well with NGOs, at the same time work really well with other clients. So we're going to just quickly take you through them as well. So exploring possibilities. One is talking about social media. The second is creating impact reports. The third is training modules. And the fourth is internal communication. When it comes down to social media, there are multiple things one tries and does, whether it be Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter, or various other social media platforms. Each and every one has a huge audience that they can cater to, or the audience that they are catering to. In terms of impact reports with NGOs, one thing that we've also realized now is that some impact reports are something that are extremely important for an NGO to showcase externally, but at the same time internally as well, when it comes down to your audits, or when it comes down to you talking to a particular fund, a fundraiser. So all of these things come together and play a larger role when it comes down to design. In terms of training modules and internal communication, I think design helps you communicate all of these things in a very simple yet effective manner, where someone can just simply go and look at a creative and understand, okay, ConnectFor is having an event on so and so date, or you guys are going to be hosting a webinar for volunteers, etc., etc. Whatever it may be, it showcases a bunch of possibilities that one can utilize in terms of design. Um, in terms of impact communications, something that design can definitely help you out with is on ground data, impact numbers, beneficiary stories, and advocacy information. I would like Varsha to jump in and detail this out a little bit more.
Yeah. So often when we speak to NGOs, they tell us, how do we communicate? There's so much data that you all that you all collect. How do you communicate that? How do you present that data? What we're going to do is help you understand how every aspect of the work that you do on ground can be translated to digital mediums using proper good design, and how that can amplify the impact of your work. A lot of NGOs here would also be into advocacy, and I think that's a very important point, because a lot of people, the generation that we're communicating with on social media, is really keen on learning what the problems are. So therefore, advocacy, information, communication also becomes very important. In terms of beneficiary stories, of course, when we go there are so many stories, and these stories are the driving force of what we really do. So if we want to continue convincing our donors to keep donating, or our community to keep engaging with us, it is extremely important that we keep telling them these beneficiary stories. What it really does is it makes them connect with us better, and also shows that the work is genuine and maintains the transparency of the work that you all are doing. Another thing that really is important is, how do you communicate your impact numbers properly? How do you really show the scale of operation? So good design really helps you do all of this in a very effective way, and that's what we're going to be helping you out with today.
Amazing. Perfect. So now that we have set enough context, we are now going to dive deeper into understanding what is good design and what comes under good design. So firstly, we are going to be using the tool called as Canva. If you can simply, it's a tool that's available on your phone at the same time on laptop, but we recommend using it on the laptop because it's something that would require you to maneuver around with your mouse and with other things as well. So it's preferable that you use the laptop for Canva. One thing about Canva that we really like is it is templatized. So everything that you do on Canva has a certain template to it. For example, if you actually go to Canva and search for impact reports, or if you go and search for impact presentations or business proposals, you'll find a bunch of already pre-existing proposals that are already made, and you can just simply pick and choose and use whatever you feel is the most appropriate to your design language. Or when I say design language, I'm talking about your brand identity and the colors that you use in your brand identity, right? The second part about Canva, or the best part about Canva, is it's completely do it yourself. It's completely DIY. Along with templatization, you can have your sense of understanding of whether a square fits in a particular image or it doesn't, right? And then the third piece on Canva is going to be, it not only focuses on social media where it gives you dimensions for a Facebook post or an Instagram post, but it can also look at your reports. It can also look at animated GIFs. So it looks at a huge number of assets that you can create with the help of one particular platform. And if you understand Canva a little bit more in detail when it comes down to designing, then Canva is also now opening and offering a video service as well, which is again pick and choose, right? So Canva has a lot of potential to be able to utilize, and that's something that we really want all of us here to be able to work on. In terms of Canva, again, one thing is that you can also collaborate. So for example, if this Google slide presentation that I am showcasing right now is with Varsha and I can edit the presentation at the very same time. Similarly, Canva also offers that. However, you can't edit it at the very same time, but you can share it with your partner who may be sitting in Bangalore or who may be sitting in Delhi or even in Bombay, and you can edit it roughly at the same time in some way or the other. But it can basically be, you can easily get more collaborators to the presentation that you are a part of. Then in terms of Canva, there are two options. One is definitely going the pro way, where one pays a certain subscription sum to Canva to avail a lot of other elements that Canva provides. However, there is a free option as well, which we will be focusing on because the free option itself gives so much more clarity in terms of what can be used and what cannot be. It's much easier to rather use the free one, obviously, for all of us. Moving ahead, sorry. Yeah. So I would like Varsha again to jump in here. These are some free resources that we can use definitely for creating a lot more of better content, to put out that better content on social media or various other platforms.
Right. So, as Pranav mentioned, I don't think anybody needs to really understand design or be a pro at it, or be really creative. What you really need is these hacks. So, what we've done for you all is, we understand that often NGOs would not want to spend on social media, would not want to spend on creating content, because of course all the money goes for impact. So therefore, we've made a list of free resources that you can use. I'm just going to take you through all of them one by one. Like Pranav said, Canva is the free version of Canva is also very interesting, and you can really explore a lot of things with that. There's another website called Coolers. What it really helps us, for example, if you don't know if your brand color is say red, but now you really want to have another color added to it, but you don't know if blue would go better, if green would go better. What Coolers really helps you do is create a color palette for your design. Then the third free resource is remove.bg. And I'll take you through how this works as well. What it helps you do is, for example, you've clicked a beneficiary image, but the background is not that good. Maybe there are more people in the background, maybe there are unwanted standees, and you don't want all of that. So how do you navigate it? But the image is really good, so you can't waste an image like that. So what you do is you go to remove.bg, you remove the background and put the same image against a better background. I'm going to do this for you so that you understand it better. Then often one more problem that we really understand with NGOs is they do not have good quality images. Someone is telling that Canva for NGOs, premium version of Canva for NGOs is free. Is it? Free Canva, you can just type canva.com and that's free. Some of the features are free, but some of them are not. So we'll just navigate through that as well when we go on to learning Canva. Oh, there's a program called Canva for nonprofits. Wow, that's great information. So I think we all should really, if you have NGO accounts, then please feel free to use premium, because of course it'll okay, nice. So yeah, it will help you have access to better features as well. Okay. Okay, yeah. So coming to another problem that NGOs usually face is that they do not have the on ground. For example, if I'm having someone from the village only coordinate the activities for me, they may not have the right device to click good pictures, right? And not always can you outsource images to a photographer, have them click good quality pictures. So what do you do in this case? You go and use free stock images. So I've listed down a couple of websites where you can get free stock images. There's Pexels, there is FreePic. Then other three names that you see: Noun Project, Flat Icons, and Many Pixels. What Noun Project gives you is illustrated icons. For example, I want to say that there are 4 steps to registering for the workshop, or 4 steps to become a volunteer. So instead of just saying 1, 2, 3, 4 step, I can also use small icons just to make the creative look better. Then there is Flat Icons. There's Many Pixels. Many Pixels is a very interesting tool. One thing that it allows you to do is it allows you to customize the illustration that you choose to to really change it to your brand colors. So if your brand color is blue, you don't have to go ahead with like a red option and spoil the aesthetic of your page. So it helps you customize the color as well. Coming to inspiration, what really helps is follow a lot of pages, a lot of NGO pages, so that you know what is happening in the sector and you keep getting inspired. Therefore, Instagram and Pinterest is one of, like, I keep going to Instagram and Pinterest to get inspiration for design. A couple of pages that I really like and the kind of work that they are doing is Pari Network. I'm sure you all would know of it. Their storytelling is beautiful. They use simple images, they use simple templates, but it's so engaging the way they tell the stories of their beneficiaries. Yeah. And then coming to music, for example, if you need the last column you see is for music options. For example, you want to make a small video for like a training, but you don't have music, you can't buy music. So where do you get free music from? We've listed down 4 options. Bensound helps you with very basic music options. Purple Planet is more customizable. What it helps you do is select the mood of the, for example, you want an inspirational track. So you can use Purple, you can type inspirational and you'll get a list of inspirational music tracks. Or if you want maybe gloomy because you're talking about a sad issue. So you can do all of that. You can choose the mood with Purple Planet. Then there is YouTube Music Library. It's huge and it really allows you to explore a lot. Similarly, Facebook Sound Collection also works the same way. All of these are free resources that will really help you make better content for the NGO. Now, this content can be used for your training. This content can be used for social media. But yeah, these resources come in really handy. Yeah. Okay. So, having worked in the social sector, what we've really understood is often NGOs just post 2 images, for example, and then they don't post anything for a month. I'm sure, like, how do we tackle this problem? How do we tackle the lack of resources that are dedicated to communication, the lack of resources that are dedicated to social media? So these simple tips that we're going to take you through in the next few slides will really help you. Yeah. Okay. Like I was saying, beneficiary stories. So beneficiary stories are really, really important, and they keep the audience connected to the NGO. They know that, okay, my money, if, for example, if a donor is donating, they know they can put a face to the person who they are helping, and it always helps. And if you maintain transparency, the donor is more likely to come back and donate the second time. So therefore, beneficiary stories are very important. 4 key points to keep in mind whenever you're making beneficiary stories is to always use very powerful images that make someone feel an emotion. For example, this girl, I just feel so happy when I'm looking at her. Like, I feel freedom when I'm looking at her. So just be very careful about the images that you're using. Then a strong creative copy. Like, it is very important to write something that evokes emotions in people. Yeah. Then brand logo, of course, for better visibility. Please always put your brand logo. Never forget to put brand logo. Also, just look at the colors that you are using. For example, if this girl is wearing a white dress, so if you would have used a white background only, it would, camouflage. Or if you would have used a lighter background, again, it wouldn't look good. Therefore, in this creative, a blue background has been used so that it really brings out the beneficiary image properly. Okay. Can we go to the next slide? Anyone has any questions, happy to answer that right now as well. Or should we move on? Okay, we'll take questions towards the end. We'll move on for now. Yeah. Okay. So, like I was saying, impact numbers are really, really important. They help you understand the scale of the work that they help your donors, your community understand the scale of the work. Therefore, whenever you're making impact number creators, let the numbers do the talking. Like, don't clutter the.
Yeah, excuse me, everyone. Requesting all the participants to be mindful of what we're doing on the screen. Pranav, is it possible for you to disable the annotation?
Let me just check on that.
Yes. We'll just wait a minute.
Yeah, I think this is better.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, then. Okay.
So basically, there's an option at the extreme right corner with the three dots. You can click on the option that says disable annotation for all participants.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So I was talking about impact numbers. It's again very, very important to get your impact numbers right. It helps you communicate the scale. It builds, it again builds transparency. Any communication builds transparency. So what you really need to keep in mind whenever you're talking about impact numbers is to have numbers as the focus of the creative. So if you see the two creatives, the numbers are the biggest, like the font also, if you see, the numbers are in the biggest font size so that there is no way I can miss it out. There's no other story around it. Numbers are the hero of the creative in this case. So that is something that we need to always keep in mind. Okay. Can we? Yeah, okay. So my recommendation to everyone wanting to use social media and the design tools that we're going to be telling you about for social media is to go minimal. For two reasons. One, it communicates the point better. Second, since you all are just starting out with designing and communicating, it would be best if, it'll be easier for you to create simpler creatives. Maybe when you explore the platform better, then you can go for more complicated creators. But as of now, I would suggest like go minimal. If you see bigger NGOs also like water.org, Charity Water, or any big NGOs, even Reliance Foundation, any NGOs that you see are really using minimal designs right now. Okay, let's go next. Okay, so Instagram has become a very important platform for advocacy, has become very integral to the change that we are trying to bring about. So therefore, it's very important that you create a good aesthetic on Instagram. It's very simple. You have to just use some block color. So if you can see the two images that I've added here, if you see there's a green block color, like there are beneficiary images, but there's also a pattern which has green block color. So what it does, it gives it a breather. It helps people understand the context. For example, if we are talking about water stories, like stories of water conservation. So, these green creatives are really breaking the beneficiary, the monotony of beneficiary stories and telling the user that, okay, now they're talking about water or they're talking about, say, women empowerment. So really like use block colors, create a pattern for your grid. So you can use like how for Reliance Foundation, we use two beneficiary images and then one block color. Then we use one beneficiary image. Just create a pattern, whatever you like. Maybe you can just use diagonals. Diagonally, you can have block colors. Just give it a break. Your beneficiary story should always have a break. Always follow a color palette. Why I say this and why I really emphasize on this point is that it's important that whenever a user is looking at your creative, they should know that it is coming from this organization. Whenever I look at the blue color of ConnectFor, I know this is coming from ConnectFor, right? So that is a kind of brand recall that we have to build. And for brand recall, you have to keep hammering the same message again and again. And colors do the job really properly. So follow a color palette always. Like I was saying, create a balance. Don't put too much in, like too many beneficiary stories together. Don't put too many numbers together. Don't put like all impact numbers we'll put together. All beneficiary emotional stories we'll put together. No, please create a balance. Okay, can we go to the, yeah. So now it's very important that whenever you're done with the creative, you have a design checklist in place. The first point, which is very important, and a lot of people really miss this out, is correct dimensions. For example, every platform has a dimension, and if you don't follow that dimension, your image will get cut. I'm sure most of you must have noticed. So therefore, always follow the dimensions of the creative that are required. For example, Instagram has 1080 by 1080, and Twitter uses more horizontal dimensions, and Instagram and Facebook use square dimensions. So really keep that in mind, that are your dimensions correct? Then second thing is consistency. Like I mentioned at the start of the session, what usually happens is you start with you really like start, you're very enthusiastic first week, you'll post every day, and then you stop posting. Don't do that. Like just post maybe thrice a week, but post thrice every week. Ensure that you are posting thrice every week. Then proofreading, of course, like this is a very basic point, but often people forget. Uh, I have a question from Radhika. I'd just like to answer it here. Radhika, yes, not for every Facebook and Instagram have the same dimensions. LinkedIn and Twitter have the same dimensions. So Facebook and Instagram have square dimensions, and LinkedIn and Twitter have horizontal rectangle dimensions. And it's very easy. When you go on Canva, they already give you the template in that size. So you really don't have to do much. You can create it in square and then adapt it in horizontal dimensions. And always like remember to proofread so that you know that you've put the source. For example, if you're talking about a statistic, for example, you're talking about X many women in the village of Gadchiroli don't have access to menstrual hygiene products. Okay, so ensure that you're putting the source, because at no point can we compromise the credibility and transparency of the NGO. So ensure that source is mentioned. Ensure that whatever you are saying is not, it's coming from a credible source. And again, proofread your copy. There should be no spelling mistakes. All these are very small things, but they do really matter. So yeah, this was about the digital strategy, and without taking too much time here, what we would like to do is take you through how Canva works. The idea is to just show you the potential of the platform. We'll tell you what are the features, and of course, you will get better with practice. But the idea for now is just to really show you the potential of the platform. Any question? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that if there are any questions, we can answer a few right now, and then we can jump into the designing piece.
Yeah. Any questions?
We can move forward now. Okay, you've got a question.
Okay. WhatsApp, somebody has asked WhatsApp dimension. Since WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook are owned by the same company, it really has the same dimension, which is a square dimension. Okay. Hope that answers. Pranav, I'll just share my screen for Canva.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay, hope my screen is visible for everyone. Just wanted to check if everyone has logged in to Canva, because it would be great if you all can also see on your screen what is happening. Okay, so like Pranav mentioned at the start that, there are two ways to go about Canva. One, you can have templatized creators, which is just very easy. It makes your job a lot easier. Then you can start from scratch if that's what you want to do. Okay, so like I said, I'm just going to be telling you about social media right now. But if you look at here, if you do more here, you will see how many things you can design using Canva. I'll just go down and give you a few examples. There are infographics, collages, desktop wallpaper. Of course, these are not really important things for us, but there is also Zoom background. A lot of you all require Zoom background. Then there is website. Website is really not that complicated, using Canva, it's just very easy. So You can use worksheets. I'm sure a lot of you must be teaching students or must be conducting workshops. So you can even create worksheets using Canva. Then there are reports. Like I was saying, that Canva is not only limited to social media, but for the sake of time right now, we're just going to take you through how it works for social media. But just see the amount of opportunities you have with Canva, worksheet, report, presentations. Literally anything can be created. There's a template for everything. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to social media creator. Okay, here I'm going to make an Instagram post. So if you see, the canvas that they give us is a 1080 by 1080 canvas. I have to work within this much space only. Okay. Now this is a blank canvas, but I can use a template here. Okay. For example, I have to create a post for say to 1 second. Okay, I have to create a post for say Earth Day. Earth Day is coming. So if I need to create a post, there are so many templates already. And here I can just, maybe this is a post where I'm inviting volunteers to come for a cleanup drive or something, and really understand, or maybe a workshop on how to be more conscious about your lifestyle choices. So if any NGO is creating a workshop on that, and how easy it is to make a social media creator for this. All you need to do is, if you like the color, then keep the color. If you don't like the color, you can change the color. Here's how you change the color. Do you see the small box here? I'm just going to change the color to say green or say yellow. Okay, yellow doesn't work. Or a black. Okay, this really depends on your brand colors as well. So if your brand, whatever your brand color is, like I said, also create a palette for your brand and just use those colors. I'm just going to use black here. This is how you change the color of the background. That you can also choose amongst other colors. If you know the hex code, if you can't see your brand color here, you can use a hex code and put the code here, and you'll get that exact shade. This is how you change the color of the background. Now coming to changing the text. Okay, you just have to double click on this, and it gives you exactly like how we do for PowerPoint presentations. I'm just going to say, join us in creating a better tomorrow. Okay. I can change the font also. If you see 3 dots here, that is how you can change the font. I want to increase the font size, for example. So I'm just gonna increase the font size here. I don't like this color, so I can change the color from here. Maybe I want to use green instead. Yeah, this green doesn't work. But yeah, for example, I want to use this green. Okay, so it really is up to you. And I don't want this here. Maybe this is taking too much of my space. I want to put more details. So I can put here. I can move this around and put more details here. For example, I want to put time, date, and venue. So I can use text from here, add a subheading, and put time, date, venue. And I can change the alignment. Yeah. I can also use different icons here, like I was mentioning before. How do you really go to icons? If you can see on the left-hand side, you have all these options. Click on elements. Say for time, I want to use a clock. I can just take a clock from here. I'm just going to take a white clock. And I can change the color of this also. If I don't like, say, black, I can change the color here. Just make it really small and put in front of time. Oh, it got too small. Yeah. So just trying to show you all what all other possibilities. Then maybe I don't like the position of this. Maybe I want to crop half of it. So you can really use this crop tool and crop most of it. See, I want to crop it till here. Now this works. I want to do more things. For example, I want to reduce the transparency of this. I don't want it this dark. Maybe I want to reduce it. Can you see? And put the text on top of this only. So that is also possible. And maybe I don't like this position, so I can flip it. Sometimes, we do it. So happens that the composition of the image is on the right hand side, but that right hand side doesn't really look good. So you can also change it to left hand side. I'll just show you what I mean when I say this. Do you see flip option here? You can just flip it, and I'm just going to flip it horizontally. So see, I can really change a lot of things and now put this here. And maybe put time here. So quite a few things are possible with Canva. It just really is about exploring the platform. I've spoken about the transparency bit. This is formatting tool. If for example, I like how time is looking. So I want this across the creative. Okay, I want this font across the creative. So I'm just gonna format it like that. See, now they are in the same font. So just a lot of things are possible, and it's really, really easy. This was a template-based creative that I've used. I can also show you a creative that I can design from scratch. Any doubts with this so far? Again, I'm just going to open a social media creative. Remember, I showed you the Pari network creative. I'm just going to recreate something like that. See, this is what the Pari network creatives usually look like, right? This is a creative that I made from scratch. I'm just going to make it again so that I can show it to you all. I'm taking a blank canvas, assuming that my brand color is, say, yellow. Okay, now I can upload my own beneficiary images that I've collected from my on-ground team, and I can just upload it here. So I already have it in the gallery, but you can take it from your computer. You can say upload media, and then you get the option to go to the device, or you can also take it from these, you can take it from Facebook, Google Drive, Instagram, just anywhere. I'm just gonna, so how I got this images, I had this image and there was a very ugly background to this. So using remove.bg, I've removed that background and I've taken this image. What I'm gonna do is increase the size of this image. Okay, remember I said that we need brand logo to be there at all times. So this is my brand logo. I can put my brand logo here. Now again, a lot of NGOs use it on the top. So basis what your design guidelines are, please use the logo accordingly. I'm going to use it in the bottom just so that it doesn't disturb any of the other elements of the creative. Maybe you want to make it a little bigger so that there's better visibility. Then, yeah. Now I'm just going to add text to this. Here's the text. I'm going to add a heading. Again, like I said, it's very important what you write. So I'm just going to write something very emotional, assuming that this woman goes through a lot of trouble when she's working. So I'm just going to put a quote from her saying, I wish I had a better life. I wish I had a better life, for example. This, the carousals on Instagram platform really works well because it builds an intrigue. So I want to know, now this is so clickbaity. I would want to know, why is this woman saying like this? What is her problem? So I will swipe and see what her problem is. I would really want to understand. So if you really are looking, if your engagement on your pages is low, I would recommend going for carousel posts because they do really well in terms of engagement. So yeah. I wish I could have a better life, for example. I'm just going to write it here like this. Now I just want to change the way it is coming, and I want to make it just, yeah, I want to make it left aligned or right aligned, whatever works well for my creative. And I can change the font size as well. I mean, I can change the font color. Yeah. Okay, now, so assuming that this is the first frame of a carousel post, what I'm going to do is tell my audience that, you know, to know more about her story, swipe through the next slide. So can I just put a small element here, maybe like an arrow or something? I'm just going to put, okay, here. Yeah. And I can definitely reduce the size of the arrow as well. Okay, I'm not able to, 1 second. Maybe this arrow we can use, and we can change the color of the elements as well, right? So here I'm just going to keep it consistent with the brown of the creative. So yeah, just a very simple creative that, you know, would really garner more attention and tells the story of your beneficiary really well. Took really less time to create such a creative. So, you know, you can't really have an excuse, oh, I don't have time for making these creatives. So yeah, just Canva is a very simple tool. And if there are any problems, I also want to show how I can flip it here.
Varsha.
Yeah.
Yeah, Varsha, can you just, for 1 second, can you insert another image on this? Or like
yeah.
upload another image and insert it? Because
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
wants to know that.
Okay, yeah, of course. For example, I'm just going to Google an image and show how to. Okay, wait, I can actually just take it from my. Yeah. Okay, so go to photos. Maybe this image, you want to insert this image. I'm going to remove this. Yeah, okay.
I hope, Kartika, that answers your question.
Sorry?
No, I'm just addressing the questions.
Okay, yeah. So I can really just choose whatever image I want. Look at this. Of course, there is a background in this image, but that you can use, you can remove using remove.bg. If you want, I can show you that. Would you like me to show you that?
No, I've sent them the link for it. You can also show it once if you want.
Okay, I'll also show once. Is it visible, Pranav?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so here, all you need to do is upload this image. So I had downloaded this image yesterday only, so I have it here. So just drag and drop this image. The background is getting removed. So if you want to see the original image, this is how it looks like. I'm just going to show it to you. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you showing the background image, the original image right now?
Yeah.
So yeah, we can't see the original image. You'll have to screen share again.
Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. I'm just going to do that. Okay. Is it visible now? Yeah.
Yes.
Loading.
There is a tree behind it, and there's like a white background, and I don't want it, and I want to remove it. So remove.bg is just the right tool for that. I hope that answers your question. Okay, I'm just going to move on. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to go to... Okay. Yeah. So should we go back to Canva? This is how you,
Yes.
this is how your image will look like. Then you can just download it and and use the downloaded image then. I'm just gonna save it. Okay. Pranav, are you able to see my screen now? Like it's Canva visible?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So
It
yeah, we
is.
can go. Yeah, okay, thank you. We can just go back to the design we were creating. Yeah, here you go. So this is how the image now looks like after using two free resources. One is remove.bg and now Canva. So really simple things that you would usually struggle with, like the background is so bad, I don't want this logo to come in the background. There are a lot of restrictions. Maybe you don't want other beneficiary to come. So you can also do that. A lot of times when we are typically dealing with HIV patients or any sensitive group of patients, they do tell us that a lot of NGOs do tell us that can you blur out the image. So I'm just going to tell you how to do that as well. Do that as well. Go to adjust. Do you see this option blur here? I'm just gonna see, not so much, but maybe this much. Maybe this much I want to blur. Maybe I don't want her face to be this visible, right? So this is also an option that you can really use. And then there is saturation, there's contrast. You can use effects also. For example, a lot of NGOs do really like using black and white images, so I'll also tell you how to do that. Filter. I'm just going to go to grayscale. This. So these are the different things that you can do using Canva. I'm also going to flip it. I really like the flip option. Honestly, it just makes the life so easy. Maybe this is how I want it, and maybe the arrow should be here. Not, of course, for this composition of image, but sometimes you would want that as well. So, there is an option for that as well. Sometimes, okay, I'll make another creative now. I want to tell you how the transparency works. Just 1 second. Okay. Instead of a block color, I maybe want to use a beneficiary image here. Okay. So I can do that as well. Maybe let's use the same beneficiary image. Not this. Photos. I want to use this image. Okay. I'm just going to use this as my background now. I can adjust the frame accordingly. Now, of course, if I write on this, it won't be visible. So how do I navigate that? I can reduce the opacity of this image. Do you see this checkered box here? It's called transparency, and it reduces the transparency of the image. So I'm just going to reduce it. Now, if I write anything on this, it will be quite visible. I'm just going to add text now. Please stop me wherever you have a question. Would be more than happy to answer. I'm just going to write women of Gadchiroli leading a better life, for example. And then I can, on the coming slates, I can explain their story. So do you see how it really works well? Just different tools, different ways to, make your creative more impactful. Yeah. Are there any questions regarding?
I'm answering all the questions as we speak. So maybe you may want to also show one of the animate options, because a few questions were around that.
Sure, absolutely. So because if you see, we've chosen a static post, so the animation here would be really basic, okay? But there is also a video option. I can show you that as well. So, just basic, just look at this. You can You can reduce the speed also. You can control the speed. For example, this is 5 seconds and it's too fast. So I'm just going to make it say 10 seconds. Let's try 10 seconds. Okay, maybe we try fade or tumble or rise, whatever you like. I mean, I really like fade. It's just very simple. Maybe block is also nice. We may have to increase the time though here. Yeah. See? So you can really do simple animations also. You can use GIFs as well. There's just a bunch of things you can do. Should we go to show how videos are done?
Yeah, we can show the initial piece of it.
Yeah,
Can we add music as well? So yeah, she'll just speak to you all about this right now.
Yeah. So video, let me just go to video. Now again, dimension is very, very important. So I'm just going to make a Facebook video right now. So in video, just a couple of things to keep in mind. People, in videos, you need frames, like because there are like multiple things to be communicated. So maybe you need say 5 frames. Okay. So let's just use maybe a template. Maybe for Women's Day, we could have one. I'm sure there would be templates for Women's Day. Let's see this. So you can change and put your thing here and then add page. Okay, this becomes your frame 1. Okay, then you make frame 2. And then here you can write stories of LGBTQ community. You can keep adding more pages. And then when you export it, finally, when you actually save it, it comes as a video. See, apply all 10 pages. For example, there are 10 pages to this video. Like I said, there are 10 frames. So I'm just going to do apply all. So see, here, the video will also play. Yeah. So if you can see, first they talk about what the topic is, then they talk about the surfing the city through it, navigating how the situation is in the city. Just a bunch of things. The frames are always given, and just like the static post, you can always customize it basis your requirements, start from scratch. But video option is also there. There are a bunch of free options. For example, there are aerial shots available. Maybe we need of a desert because we want to communicate the problem of water scarcity. So let's see if desert is there. See here, this is in Pro, but I'm sure there would be free options also. Most of these are Pro, but even if you don't take it from here, you can also upload your own video. You can also put audio to it, which is very interesting. A couple of audios are here as well, but you can also use the free resources that we told you about. These audios also must be nice only. Not that nice. See, I told you there are categories in the sense that I need happy. Maybe I'm talking about a child recovering from a disease. So I'm just going to look at a happy music. So you see, you can really put music to these creatives. And then once you're done with everything, you can just click on download. Download as MP4. Yeah. You can download it as GIF or MP4 or PDF, whatever you'd like. And yeah. One of the images here is Pro, so I can't download it, but I can replace that image and then take the rest of the template from this same video. Yeah, maybe I'm just going to replace that and show how to. So wherever you see the watermark, the Canva watermark, that is the paid, those are the paid images. So you can replace just those images. So yeah, this was about how to make videos. Maybe another template that I think would be very useful is presentations, because why build something from scratch when there are templates? It'll save you a lot of time. So maybe you can Maybe we write her impact report. Let's see if they have options for that. They do. They really do. This one, most of them are paid resources. But anyway, you can use it for, just for inspiration as well. Maybe it's paid, but I can just have a look at it and try to recreate the same, but I'll get the structure and everything. So that is really helpful. If you're clueless about where to begin from, what design element to use, this Canva also acts as a great, reference point. So this was about the platform. I'd like to just take the rest of the the remaining time to answer your questions. Perhaps maybe you all can also do one small design on Canva and show it to us if there's any feedback. So I just want to open the stage to questions. Any questions?
Which I think we won't have so many questions also because I've been answering most of them in chat.
Okay.
I think most of them are answered. If there are any, maybe we can take it up later on as well, no problem.
Okay, great. So from a perspective of helping everyone understand the platform and just the basic tips around design, I think we've taken care of that. Would you like to add anything? Anything that ConnectFor team would also like us to explain?
Yeah, so I mean, more or less, Canva, as you see, it's more of like a platform which can help you pick and choose anything from their library into what you're making in the section, the place where you can see impact report, right? So it's essentially a place which helps you, how do I say, pick and drop in the most easiest format. And it also helps you choose colors. Then it also helps you choose animations. It helps you basically understand and go through the process of designing in a very, very simple manner. So in terms of Canva, I think Varsha has like taken you all through a very nice presentation of how one can actually go and design on Canva. So I think that's fine from my end. I've covered, rather I've spoken about everything, and I believe Arsha also has. So if ConnectFor team has anything to conclude about.
Yeah, I think we are ready to conclude our event now. Thank you so much, Varsha and Pranav, for facilitating this beautiful workshop. We have all gathered really excellent insights today. And I'd like to thank all our attendees for joining us for the workshop and for being a wonderful audience. I request you to please fill the feedback form as it will help us to curate many more sessions like these. My team member Ashwarya will be sharing the link to the feedback form with you in the chat box right now. And as mentioned earlier, if you have any questions that remain unanswered in the session, please put in your queries on the feedback form, and we can request our speakers to answer them offline. We also hope to see you all for our workshop on report writing, which is scheduled for 14th of April. The details will be shared with you again by email and via the chat box. Yeah, that is all for today, and we hope to see you on the 14th. Thank you so much.
Questions that I'd like to answer. I'm just seeing. I'm not sure if you have answered them. Somebody has asked how to collaborate, which is like a great question. I'd just like to answer that question. Sorry if everybody could just stay for 2 more minutes. Here. So when you go to home page, and on the left hand side, you can just see I have a team called Shebang, and I can keep sharing things with my team. I can invite members. For example, I can just send an invite to Pranav either through this link or through his email ID, and then I can collaborate on a design. For example, if you're making a PPT or making like an impact report, of course you can't do it all by yourself. So this. So Canva really helps you also collaborate with your team members. You all can see it on the left hand corner.
Just one more thing, Varsha, I'm just going to stop your screening once.
Yeah.
Adding on to what Varsha just said, if you see I believe you will be able to see my screen now. So if you can just go share on the design, then I can just simply type and send. So it basically invites her to create or other do stuff on this particular platform. Sorry, is this particular image. So I believe this is now a lot more clearer as well. So you can either do it that way where you can create a team entirely and share it with the entire team at any particular point of time, or you can create individual presentations and share it with individual people as well, or invite them to the team as well. No problem with that.
Yeah.
Answering another question, can you share some pro tips for making a promotional post for social media pages that will bring in users, like positioning of the components? So I think in terms of positioning of the components, it'll be a little difficult to say where you could fit what, but essentially what we suggest, or rather what we definitely would like to see, is a call to action. So a pro tip would definitely be, if you have an event or if you have something which requires people to turn up at any particular point of time, the call to action should be visible enough for everyone to see it. And if you're asking them, and in social media, one thing that one should always look out for is that they shouldn't be adding too many steps for them to come to your platform, right? So if you have access to a swipe up link, that's great. But if you don't have access to a swipe up link, ask them to come to your website, the link that you can put on Instagram, or the Facebook link that you can put out. So ask them to register on a particular link instead of them going to another page and then registering on another page. So it's much easier to have one step CTAs, and that will help you bring a lot more of people, specifically users specifically, to your social media pages or events.
Okay. Yeah, so I just like to add in terms of design, honestly, one thing that I've been seeing that works really well is, I'm sure if you follow a lot of, advocacy pages on Instagram, or like, a lot of activist pages, what they really do is they put Twitter screenshots and then they make a carousel post out of it. It's not difficult at all, and it really is very good for engaging with your audience. So, you can look at such simple techniques also. And honestly, one pro tip on is just that follow a lot of pages, because that's how you will know what is happening in the industry. That's how you will know that what are the new styles of making creatives, and then you can use the same, maybe what the audience is liking to see, what is working well with the algorithm. For example, Instagram algorithm right now is favoring reels a lot more, so there's no point creating a static post. Maybe focus more on reels right now. So yeah, just that. Also use curiosity really well. Like I said, carousel posts work only because they get you curious. So I'm curious what happened with this woman now. Why is she wishing for a better life? So I'll go through the rest of the slides as well. The same as with stories. Why stories work really well is because I know that it'll disappear in 24 hours. So I want to see stories. Even like if you analyze your user behavior as well, you will find yourself seeing more stories these days because they will disappear. So yeah, just from that perspective, wanted to explain it to you all. And somebody was also asking about some list of IG pages. Yes, I will definitely. I know that there's a group with the participants. Maybe what we can do is, if ConnectFor team could add us there, and I'll keep sending you all the pages that I used to reference. Pari Network, I think, is just really beautiful because they use very simple designs, something that you all can create using Canva. So I would definitely recommend that you all follow that. And other pages as well, I will keep putting on the group chat. So
Sounds
yeah,
perfect. Yeah, we could probably send them an emailer with the presentation
sure.
and all the important
Sure.
links and references.
For sure.
Are there any more questions that would need to be answered right now?
I'm just checking. Somebody has asked about regional languages, which is a very good question. It's very important to answer to customize your content basis. That yes, you can use Canva for putting regional languages also. There's a very simple tool called Google Input Tool, which lets you translate it properly and not like Google Translator where half the spellings are wrong. I'm just going to put it here on chat for everyone, called Google Input Tool. So you can use that tool for translation and then copy paste the content on Canva. I hope that helps. I'm just looking if there are any other questions that have been unanswered. Yeah, video editing option is there. There you can edit videos on Canva. Okay, can I get okay, introduction I think the team has already shared. Just in terms of composition, somebody positioning and component, somebody has asked, just ensure that your creative is not very cluttered. Like don't put too many things. If you're using a beneficiary image and if that's the hero, then just always remember that whenever you're designing, there will be one hero in the creative. So either it is your image, for example, in your impact creatives, impact number creatives, it should be your number. So understand who is the hero of your creative here. Yeah, I hope that helps. I'm just looking if there are any other questions. I'm a professor at Design Institute. Can I share your work? Yeah, of course you can. You can definitely share.
No problem in that.
Yeah, I would like to thank you. Okay, thank you so much for attending.
Okay, perfect. I think we're done.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Varsha and Pranav. Hope to catch up with you soon. We'll share the webinar. We'll be uploading the webinar on our YouTube channel for everyone's references. We'll also share the presentation, all the details that you require. And in case of any suggestions or feedback, please do fill up the feedback form and we'll connect with you soon.